Hey, welcome to episode 2 of Universal Tips and Tricks by Laura Ashbaugh. I'm here to talk about seasonal events at Universal. So I mentioned in my overview video that one of the top five reasons I recommend that you go to Universal is because of their seasonal events. So let's talk a little bit about what those look like. So there are three major ones throughout the year, and two of them are still coming up and left to happen in 2022. So we've got Halloween, which typically runs beginning of September through the end of October. We have Christmas, which will typically run kind of mid-ish November through sometimes a little bit of after the new year, kind of depending on what they have planned and what all is happening. And then the third is Mardi Gras, which will run, mid-February to about, mid-April, early May, depending. Dates fluctuate a little bit every year, but these are the three major kind of seasonal events that you will see happen throughout Universal. Each one of them has its own unique flavor and flair, but you will find some similar things in each of them. So what you will often get, you will get themed parades. That's a photo from the Mardi Gras parade from actually, I think that was last year's Mardi Gras parade. She's wearing a mask, that's how you can tell. So the Mardi Gras parade, it is Mardi Gras, but it is still family friendly. But it is definitely, it's got a lot of fun floats. You'll have street performers, definitely going to get that Mardi Gras flavor and flair. The scavenger hunt, so these are kind of tree trails. So they started doing these at Christmas time, obviously for trees. And I'll do a separate video about the tree trails. It's actually a lot of fun to do. So you'll find different themed Christmas trees all around the parks and City Walk. When you go to each of them, you get a little stamp that shows that you were there. And at the end of the tree trail, there is an ornament for you to take home. They did something similar at Halloween, where they actually had kind of a skeleton scavenger hunt. Same principle. You would find different themed skeletons around the park. And I believe they've done something similar for Mardi Gras as well. Specialty foods. There will be special food booths. There'll be pop-up events. There'll be different kind of Christmas, Halloween, Mardi Gras themed food that you won't find any other time of the year. So there is a lot to be tasting, a lot to try. It's definitely, and that's in addition to all the other restaurants that are still there and that are still operating. You'll find specialty foods. The tribute store. Now, this is something that's really started to kind of come about in the last couple of years. And it's a really big hit. People get really excited for the tribute store. So the tribute store, it is a shopping experience, but it is a highly themed shopping experience. And it is surprisingly a ton of fun to go visit. So there'll be a tribute store for each one of the different holidays. Right now, they actually have a summer one as well, even though technically summer isn't a seasonal event. And the tribute store will change every year. We'll have a different theme. So the facade of the tribute store will be different. And then inside, there is kind of an overarching theme. And then each room is going to have different, so there's different shopping as well as different kind of looks and themes typically around whatever it is that. So this is, I think, the Haunting of Hill House. And so inside there are different rooms themed to different Halloween horror nights that they have connected to that. Christmas one, Mardi Gras, all of them have a different flow and theme and connection. Inside is sometimes typically unique shopping that you only find inside the tribute store. It is worthwhile to walk through by itself. And there's also themed food inside of the tribute store. I'll do special videos just on tribute stores in a future as well. So you've got, and then the last piece is special events. So all of the parades, the tree trails, the foods, the tribute store, all of that is part of your regular ticketed price for going to Universal. You will find all of these things as part of an everyday from start open to close kind of setting. Will not cost you anything extra. The food, of course, will cost extra because you're buying food, but the parades, none of the other things will cost additional. It's all part of your ticket. The special events are specially ticketed events. So these are separate from your typical event. The big one that we'll talk about here more in just a second is the Halloween Horror Nights. So it is a special ticketed, separate ticketed event. You must pay extra to go to this, and you get a completely different experience that you could only get during those special events with that special ticket. They will also have something, they don't do quite as similar things with Christmas. Christmas had some special VIP events, as did Mardi Gras had some special VIP events that were an extra ticket. So that's an extra cost in addition to your daily tickets. That may not be for everybody, but that is sometimes part of the draw of going to these different events. So a little bit about the Tribute store. Most of these are from Christmas. There's a few from Halloween. It kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. So the upper right corner, that is the Christmas store, and that was the room that was themed around the Harry Potter Christmas ball. And so it was all white and blue and twinkled, and everything inside of there was Harry Potter. Different shopping. There's me down there in my Grinch. So there was a Grinch themed room with Grinch decorations as well as Grinch merchandise. So you will kind of, depending on what the theme is, you will find different rooms and different spaces inside the Tribute store. Even if you don't buy anything, it's a worthwhile experience to walk through. The tree trails, these are surprising. I'll be honest, I had a great time doing the tree trail. What it did for me, and one of the reasons why I liked it, is it took me around the park to places that I may not have walked in otherwise. You get a map. The Christmas one does cost money. It was like $9.99. It might be a little bit more than that depending on the season, but that to kind of give you an idea. And that is the cost of basically the ornament that you get. You could buy buy the map, turn around and immediately turn it back in and get your ornament and do none of the actual hunting. I really enjoyed the hunting. The map will show you where you can find all of the different trees, and they're usually inside of stores, inside of different sections, and they're all themed to wherever you were at. So you see there's me inside of the Cat in the Hat store. So it is a Christmas tree themed around Cat in the Hat. There was one inside of SpongeBob, and that is the one inside of a Jurassic Park area. And so it takes you all over the park, all over both parks, City Walk. It took you places you wouldn't necessarily walk to otherwise. And you can do that as part of the rest of your day. I did it as a little bit kind of extra on the side. I had to go to all of them. I wanted to see all of them. They were really unique and well done and a lot of fun. So the tree trails. And Halloween. So I don't know about you. I am a huge Halloween fan. We are big Halloween people here in this house. I didn't used to be, but it's really started to grow on me as a holiday. And my kid Connor loves the spookies. He loves the scaries. And Halloween at Universal is, for lack of a better word, it's legit. Like, it is Halloween. So what they do is they do what's called Halloween Horror Nights. And so you find in the park during the day, you don't get quite the same level of scary, but Halloween Horror Nights is an evening ticketed event. It's a special price. And essentially what you are getting is themed haunted houses. So typically between 10 to 12 haunted houses that are themed around Universal properties. So they've done things in the past with Stranger Things, Universal Monsters. They've had Ghostbusters. I believe this year they're talking about, there's a Mike Myers. So you find a lot of different, and they are meant to scare you. So this is not your not so scary party. This is meant to be scary. It can be a little kind of gruesome and full of gore. In addition to the haunted houses, they also have what are called scare zones, which are specially themed parts of the park where you walk, and they have actors who are in full head to toe makeup, who are designed to scare you. It is recommended that no one under the age of 13 attend Halloween Horror Nights because it is intense and is intended to be scary. So if that is your thing, Halloween Horror Nights is well worth it. Even multiple nights. They're specialty ticketed, which means, again, it's like extra cost, and they do control capacity. So certain nights will absolutely sell out. Even with capacity controls, they still can get pretty crowded. So there are some extra, additionals you can add, a express pass so that you can be sure and hit all of the haunted houses. There's a food tickets, there's specialty foods, there's a specialty parade, there's typically an evening show, all part of that special ticketed event there at Halloween Horror Nights. It is excellent. So the other piece that you will find in addition to the Halloween Horror Nights is, and I have to mention, I love Harry Potter here at this channel, you have what's called the dark arts. And so they do a nighttime projection show. This is not part of the special ticketed event. It is shown every night throughout the park. So all you need is your typical ticket. And it's about a 10-15 minute projection show themed around the dark arts. So you get Voldemort, you get the spiders, you get the fight of good and evil. They're up on the Hogwarts castle. It was worth it just to go for that. They've also in the past, they've had Death Eaters walking through the streets of Diagon Alley and as Hogsmeade. So you have a variety of street performers, spooks and scares and creepies, all part of that Halloween experience. So this year it is starting on September 2nd. Tickets are on sale for Halloween Horror Nights. It's still available at this point in time. Here it is. It's mid-June. If you want to go, now is the time to get your tickets, to get your packages, to talk with me about helping make a trip for Halloween Horror Nights work for you. Now, if you're not into the spooks and you're not into the scaries, I also highly recommend the holidays at Universal Studios. Christmas time is a special time of year to travel. I don't recommend going at Christmas unless you absolutely, that's the only time you can go. But the Christmas season itself is a really great time to visit. It's a little cooler in Florida. In December, it's a great time to buy the $110 wool Harry Potter robe that you are able to wear because it's not 100 degrees outside in Florida. With the holidays at Universal Studios, let's see if I have any other pictures here. I do. So you have Seuss Land. So Seuss Land decks itself out for Christmas fun. And you also find the Grinch is able to, they have a special Grinch show that happens during Christmas time. And they have the Grinch available for pictures. He does not do autographs, but he will do pictures. He is great fun to me. And they will have Who's wandering through the streets of Seuss Land as well during the Christmas season. There's a specialty parade. And so they do a Macy's basically Macy's Thanksgiving parade. They have actual Macy's balloons as well as street performers. And of course you can't end a Christmas parade without Santa. And so this is through the park that will happen, the specialty foods. I mentioned the trees. And then there's also a special Christmas themed Hogwarts show where it kind of like it snows. It is focused on the Yule Ball and that kind of Christmas time, which is actually a really special time in Harry Potter. I have several friends who consider Harry Potter to be Christmas movies for themselves because of the focus of that within the books and those movies. Christmas, I found it to be really, really Christmassy. As you walk through the park, you hear Christmas pop music playing, you see the trees decorated, you see the lights places. I really felt like I was walking through a Christmas wonderland. It was a really great time. Delicious treats, of course, as you will find during any specialty season. So if Halloween's not your thing, and Halloween is great, Christmas is also a really fun time of year to visit as well. So when would you want to visit? What would work for you? This is me with the Who's. They're inside of Seuss Land. Mardi Gras, I don't have as much about Mardi Gras. I'm not honestly a huge Mardi Gras fan. It's really probably the best food out of the three events. And it runs during the kind of that spring break season. So you are going to see that pretty often if you go in March as part of spring break. People ask one of the number one questions I get is when is the best time to go? And I usually will say one, when you're able to, and two, during a special seasonal event. Whether it's Halloween, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Mardi Gras, that is my number one recommendation of when to go visit. So when would you like to visit? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe, of course. And if you want to talk about visiting any of these events in Universal, feel free to schedule a complimentary consultation or send me an email and we can talk about what it looks like to get your family there. Thanks and have a great day.